Hi people, my name is Argandios and today I'm going to talk about Shaowpriest, this great spec, great class, marvelous to play in World of Warcraft. My favorite, for as you can clearly see. So what I'm going to talk about? Well, I'm going to talk about the road by Shadowlands and change in 9.1. In referring to stats, there's no changes at all, same as in 9.1, same as in 9.0, sorry. And well, sincerely, I have enjoyed Shadowpriest very much during Shadowlands. It has been very fun. I was not a meta class in Mythic Plus. As you know, I do only Mythic Plus. I do not raid anymore. I stopped raiding a few years ago, and I have never come back, and I have no intention of going back to raiding. But I sincerely have enjoyed Shadowpriest in Mythic Plus a lot. Is the less I can say. So now let's go a bit with what has happened to Shadowpriest, how has it evolved. In regards to talents, we have a lot of them. Most of them are useful in one or other situation. You only have to know how to use them properly. And sincerely, I think no one can come and say, "Hey, no, this talent is almost useless." Well, Ancient Madness is a bit worse than the other two, but I think that nothing is perfect. No one is perfect. So let's put it in that way. Now, regarding legendaries, we have three legendaries that have shine over others. First, Shadowflame Priest, which we use in raid mainly when there are a boss with a lot of ads and here and there. We need to do AoE damage basically, okay, area of effect damage, and we will use this one. Then we have Talbadar's Stratagem, which we use in raid also, but in this one we use only for single target bosses. This is the best legendary. And finally we have Eternal Call of the Void, which is kind of a mix. And this one is the preferred one for Mythic Plus. So whenever we go Mythic Plus, Eternal Call of the Void is probably the best legendary in general. Shadowflame Priest is not bad either, and in Tyrannical, Talbadar's Stratagem is not bad either. Okay, so, but the three of them are more or less near. And I say more or less because both Shadowflame Priest and Talbadar's Stratagem have been nerfed. Shadowflame Priest was almost as good as Eternal Call of the Void and Talbadar's Stratagem for single target, which means it was a bit too good because this is a legendary which was designed to increase our AoE damage. And Talbadar's Stratagem, well, is the nerf of Talbadar's Stratagem comes with the nerf of a series of abilities because we were doing too good in single target damage. As I say, I do Mythic Plus, and it was kind of weird when I were kind of the second or the last while damaging in pulse or in thrash, but then I was the first one when I was doing bosses. I was the first one almost every single boss, and if I was not the first one in damage, it was because I did something wrong, or maybe there was a lot of movement. Last boss of, for example, last boss of Sanguine Vips, I had some issues with that one because there was a lot of movement. I could not always be DPSing, so I was usually not the first one in DPS in that boss, but anyway, in almost any other boss I was the first one, so it was not a problem. So this was the build with legendaries. Now, changes towards 9.1. Okay, well, we have several buffs and nerfs. They have buffed the damage of both Vampire Touch and Shadow Word Pain by 20%, 25%, and they have nerfed the damage of Devouring Plague by 18%. It looks like a lot, especially taking into account that most of our damage in single target comes from Devouring Plague, but the overall nerf is about 4-5%, I think, between the buffs with to these two, the nerf to this one, the nerf to a conduit. So it's not like it's really terrible. Okay. Now, more nerfs. We have Clear Mind. It has been nerfed by 25%. Okay, it knows reduce the mana cost in a lesser amount, and they have also nerfed dissonant cost. Okay, from extra 35% more damage to only 20% more damage. Again, they wanted to nerf or single target damage, which I sincerely kind of agree, because it was kind of weird to see myself in the top while doing single target damage and not while doing AoE damage or well, several targets damage. Okay. No, more changes. Well, Talbot, Shaowpriest, you have to use Rabbit Shadows. And regarding Covenants, the Covenant which has come on top, slightly, only slightly, has been Night Fae for Shadowlands, especially after the changes in 9.0.5. Which Covenant will go on top after 9.1? I have no idea, because we have not been able to test most of the changes here. So, or they have been tested but not enough. So maths will tell, I suppose. If Fatal Flaw, for example, which is this one, results to be very good for Shaowpriest, not necessary for other classes, we might want to go all Penthir and use Natya. But I have no idea right now. So until the numbers are up, we will not know. Now, what things we have as new? Well, we have a lot of PvP talents and several legendaries. I'm going to begin with the legendaries, and then I will go to the PvP talents. For Benthir, we have Shadow Word Manipulation. Mind Games lasts an additional 3 seconds, which makes for a total of 8 seconds, and reverses an additional 10% damage or heal. Nothing for us here. When Mind Games can no longer reverse healing or damage, gain 3% critical strike for each second remaining for 10 seconds. This is a very powerful buff, especially in raids, because in raids, if you use it properly, okay, you will have between 5 and 7 seconds remaining when the buff in the boss expires, which means you will have between 15 and 21% extra crit for 10 seconds, which is like a trinket, okay, more or less like a trinket each 45 seconds, which is brutal. It's a beast. It will be overshadow any of those three? I have no idea. I cannot tell. Okay, when the numbers came out, we will know. But I think this legendary has a very good look on it. So stay tuned for whatever might happen. For Mythic Plus, however, I would say that it's not very good. Unless you are doing something like 25s, 30s, that the amount of damage is very heavy, so you might have a lot of time. In Mythic Plus, you will probably not have more than 9, 12%, 15% maybe if you use it in a boss or something like that. But I don't think it will overshadow Eternal Call of the Void or Shaowpriest for Mythic Plus. But there are the Covenants. We have Bones and this pact, which is the Night Fae legendary. Enter a pact with the Eldoa, calling for the Hunter's Max that lingers on a target until Fey Warden set. Haunted Mass, copy the benefit of the current fairy on its target, follow your direct mass. What this means? Well, this means that the buff you have during the Night Fae ability will be double. That is, the amount of insanity you get will be double as now. which is not very good, I say, because we can overcap Insanity very easily. It's true that we will use more devouring plays, we will do more damage, but I'm not really sure that this legendary will be very good. It might. Okay, stay tuned for it because this is kind of I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think it will be really good, but I might be total and absolutely wrong. This first harmony. Boon of the Ascendance cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds up to 60 seconds for each stack of Boon of the Ascendant consumed by Ascended Eruption. Take it into account that Boon of the Ascendant is not a very good ability for Shaowpriest, and that there are not very much Kyrian Shaowpriest. I say this legendary is not going to be very good. Okay, I might be wrong, but I don't think this is a legendary we will want to use if you are Kyrian. So you will be good with any of these three. Stack with it, no problem. Keep a look on it this, because I might be wrong, but I don't think it will be. And finally we have Pallid Command. Casting Unholy Nova summons a Rattling Mage that gains 2 additional damage and healing each time an enemy affected by Unholy Transfusion is damaged by an ally, up to 100%. The Rattling Mage serves you for 26, blasting your target for 600 and whatever number shadow damage. What this means? This means that once our friends or raid mates or whatever have damage time enough the target, this mage will be doing double the damage. So instead of 643, it will be doing 1286 damage each time it uses its ability, whatever ability it is, for a few seconds or the few seconds remaining the ability has. So I don't know. I don't think it will be good, but all depends of the tuning of the mage. I have not tested it. I'm not Necrolord, but I don't think it will overshadow any of these 3 legendaries here, sincerely. So, as I say, if you are Benthir or Nightfade, keep a look on them. If you are Kyrian or Necrolord, keep a look also, but I don't think you will have to be troubled at all by these 2 legendaries, sincerely. And now let's go for our PvTP talents. Scythian has a Sifa buff. Before it has like 10 damage points. Now is 10% of our life, which means it will be something harder to kill than, hey, one hit, it's dead, let's go. Now we have talent removed, which was Lasting Plague, the one that did the Devouring Plague to last twice as longer. It was kind of weird and not very usable and whatever. Okay. Greater Fate has been a nerf from 4 seconds lasting to only 3 seconds, 25% less. It's still a good time. Okay, so no problem. Improved Mass Dispel, new PvP talent. Mass Dispel cooldown is reduced to 15 seconds. I'm not really sure if it is I have not tested, but to 15 seconds is like a lot, because right now it's 45. So I'm not really sure if it's 2 or by. I keep a look at it. Keep up a look at it, because I will have to check it later. But I'm not really sure this is right. And its cast time is reduced by 1 second, which means it goes from 1.3 seconds or 1.2 in Shadow to 0.0 seconds. So no one is going to interrupt me while I'm launching this, only unless they have very lucky. If they are very lucky, well, then bad luck. But we have 2 new talents. We have Void Volley. Upon entering its void form, send a slow moving bolt kind of shadow grass slow moving bolt, each 0.56 for 3 seconds, so a total of 6 of them, dealing an amount of shadow damage to all target within 8 yards and causing them to flee in horror for 3 seconds. This can be very powerful, especially in battlegrounds, but in arenas it can be very good also, especially if you have some kind of melee and it has already used its immunities or its anti-fear or whatever. You launch this and you have a high probability of get them off your tail. And finally, I have one which I think I'm going to have a lot of fun, and I'm not being sarcastic. Megalomania. Gain the Surrender to Madness talent. When Surrender to Madness would kill you, you are instead reduced to 35% of your max health. I don't know if you have taken a look at other videos in this channel, but I have one in which I go to Battlegrounds with Surrender to Madness in its Battle for Azeroth version. Because in Battle for Azeroth, I went for outside content and for Battlegrounds, I used Surrender to Madness. Like a lot. Because each time a rogue, or a warrior, or a paladin, or a demon hunter came to say, "Hey, a Shaowpriest, free honor," I killed them. Basically, like a lot of times, a very lot of times. It requires a skill, because when the time is up, you have to use dispersion in order to not go down to 35% of the health. Okay, dispersion affects the amount of damage you take and reduce it, so you have to save dispersions for that moment. And I'm not really sure if it will work as good as it did during Battle for Azeroth, because the duration is now less than it was in Battle for Azeroth. In Battle for Azeroth, I have a minute to kill anything. Now I have only 25 seconds, and 25 seconds might not be enough. So I'm not really sure, but I'm going to try it in 9.1. I can give you that for sure, and if it works well, I will make another video saying, "Hey, I'm in a battleground, look how I kill all those melee specs that say, 'Hey, Shaowpriest, free honor,' and I will say, 'Hey, look at my finger.'" So this is it. These are other changes for the spec. I think I have not left anything out. Let me check. No, I think it's everything here. So I hope that you find this video useful, that you like it, and well, have fun in the next patch, have fun with the Shaowpriest, it deserves it, and see you in the next one. Bye.